Greetings everybody, Michael Walker, Secondary Digital Learning Specialist, and I have a quick update for you on eLearning2, as Sarah alluded to. In this presentation I'm going to be talking a little bit about an update on eLearning2, some changes for this year. We're going to talk a little bit about digital age learning and a framework that we've put together, the communication expectations and some changes in that for the coming year, talk about some professional learning opportunities for you, and then some documents to kind of help guide your grade level or team planning as you go into eLearning2 this coming year, along with a guide for kind of the first 6 weeks and some suggested activities to kind of integrate the devices into your teaching. So here's some of the changes. First of all, the expectation that all students have a device. In the past it's been at teacher discretion. It's also been an option for students to bring a device to class, and now we're saying that all students need to have a device, whether they purchase it through the web store or provided by the district. The other big change is that the no cell phone policy, that a cell phone does not constitute a primary device, and that students need to have a device other than a cell phone for that. Now, as we're thinking about cell phones and cell phone management, I know that some departments and teachers have put together things like a cell phone prison as a way to kind of manage that, or have them put their phones on the desk, out or in and away, and not used unless the teacher says you need to use it. We know that with the cell phone, they can do some of the things, but not all the things they need to be able to do as a student. But we also know it's a management issue. But we also recognize that if the student's going to be doing a photo activity or a video activity, that the Chromebook isn't going to be the best tool for that, and maybe the cell phone is. So at your discretion, they'll be using the device. Here's another management option. Buy a bunch of cheap socks, have them put the cell phone in the sock and tie it. They're in control of it, it's on their desk, and that way it's out of sight and out of mind. The device options this year in the web store, as I said, 6th, 8th, and 9th grade have access to the Best Buy web store, and all others who either chose not to participate, or maybe they got a tablet and that's not working out for them, can check out a device. Sarah has done a great job of coordinating with us on how that rollout's going to happen at the high school, and she'll be working to help get those devices out to students as quickly as possible. Another big change this year, Tim Barrett has chosen to go back into the classroom. He'll be at Project Lead the Way teacher over at Southview this year. He did an outstanding job of leading the eLearning2 and coordinating with Best Buy and communicating with families, and he is going to be missed. But we would like to welcome Jack Soleski, who's going to be joining us. He spent the last year over at Highlands, and he's got a background where he's studying for some media specialist work and stuff, and great communicator, and is going to be a great asset to the program. So eLearning2, when we talk about it, we're talking about student access to a device, but we're also talking about professional learning opportunities for you as teachers, and we're also talking about digital age learning. And when we're talking about digital age learning, we're talking about access to content, the ability to collaborate, and creation. Now, with the access to content, in our ecosystem, we really have Moodle and Google as our kind of ecosystem for students accessing content, and that's the primary way to go with that. So most of you have a Moodle course where you're adding content and curating content for your students, and that's outstanding. And we'll continue to do that. As far as collaboration goes, we have great tools for collaboration with Google Apps, utilizing Drive for that. That's kind of the primary place to go when you're thinking about student collaboration. We know there's other tools out there, but start with Drive. As you're thinking about how you're going to be utilizing Drive, some people might have the students create a folder and then share that folder with you with a certain naming convention, and then you can put that in a class folder for organizing things. Other people might want to explore some Doctopus scripts or things. Still others might want to try the new Google Classroom. There's some neat possibilities with that. We think that it has some potential, but we're not rolling it out for everybody right now. If you want to try it though, I can help you get started with that. And then creation, for students creating content to make meaning. And again, Google tools, maybe adding WeVideo or Lucidchart to their Drive apps so that they can do different creation activities and things like that is a great way to go with that. So last spring we developed this digital age learning framework, and it's really based on something called the SAMR model, where low-level integration is basically you're just substituting technology for something you've already done. Maybe it's the worksheet and now it's digital, and there's no real change. And then we start augmenting things maybe and utilizing the spell check feature of the tool or some other things that way. Or maybe it's modification where now students are able to use something like Turnitin and you can give feedback electronically in that. And then we get to where it's redefinition, where without the technology this couldn't have been done. And some great examples of that with content where Nate Murphy and others have been doing some great flip videos with collaboration with Google Docs and sharing that information out with the world. The chemistry teachers last year did a great job doing some different collaboration things with Google Docs and building that into their labs. And then with creation, where students are actually creating content and meaning. The passion projects had some great examples of that last year. I know World Language did some really cool things with video and other things like that. So we're seeing lots of different levels of this digital age framework happening at the high school right now. What I think is interesting, some people think of this as a ladder to climb and that you have to get to redefinition. And to be honest, not every lesson is going to be something that totally redefines things, and that's okay. Sometimes substitution is the best use of the tool in that particular situation. We also know that sometimes you're not going to use technology at all. So rather than thinking of this framework as a ladder that you have to climb every day, I really like this swimming pool analogy. This was developed by Carl Hooker in Texas, I believe. And he thinks of SAMR more as a swimming pool, where some days you're swimming in the shallow end, maybe some days you're moving toward the deep end as you get more comfortable and stuff like that. But I think what we're really saying here is that it's no longer okay for you to never get wet. We've kind of taken the barriers of students, not every student having a device, and the cell phone issue away. So those barriers are gone, and we're hoping that all of you will get in the pool. Not every day, but enough to start incorporating the devices to help enhance student learning. So we're really stressing that you start every day in Edina Apps and use Google Chrome for that. You're going to have your best experience with Google Apps and Moodle if you're in Google Chrome. Your digital communication standards. In the past 3 years we've had the standards as a web page with the syllabus and contact info and an updated gradebook. There's a proposal that we step up a little bit with that and include both a calendar either on the a Google Calendar that you embed on your website and embed in your Moodle course, or you put your gradebook definitions in a little bit in advance so that they show up in SchoolView for the students and parents. And then also that everyone have a Moodle course for content. The students and the parents have really asked for that one-stop shop where the kids can go. Now in some cases, some of you have a really robust website that you utilize. Link to that from a Moodle shell so that the kids can go to Moodle first and then not have to hunt and peck to try and find all the information that you have maybe on a different website. For professional learning opportunities this year, we're going to be rolling out some cohort opportunities for you, doing some Moodle stuff, both face-to-face and online, as well as Google Apps, working on flip videos if you're interested in that. You'll do some different activities and earn a stipend for that. Along with that, we're also looking at continuing another session of the Technology and Learning cohort through Hamlin. It's a 15 credit opportunity for you to get a technology certificate and possible move toward a lane change. This year we're looking at a secondary focus and possibly collaborating with Hopkins School District on this. So we're excited about that, and we'll be rolling out more information later in September. Along with that, I want to offer my services in your PLC work and in your collaborative Wednesdays. My plan right now is to be at the high school every Wednesday, so that if you'd like to meet with your PLC and talk a little bit about formative, summative assessment options and how you can quickly gather some data using some tools that we have available, I'd be happy to sit down and meet with you, and I encourage you to invite me. And along with that, other times during the week, if you'd like me to come in and have a one-on-one session with you, I'd be happy to meet with you. Just invite me in Outlook Calendar. So as we're thinking about eLearning Squared and moving forward, one of the things we put together is a planning document for you. And so if you click on the link here on Make a Plan, you can see this planning document that we've put together. And it's basically a guide for you to kind of think about some of the things that to help you be successful in the coming year. We've also put together a roadmap. So if you'd like to click on the link for roadmap, click on that and kind of look at the first 6 weeks and some different things that you can be doing in your classroom to start incorporating devices and kind of build some common expectations, along with practicing those expectations with the students, because we know that there are going to be times when they're going to test things a little bit, and having a plan in place is going to be helpful to you. So we look forward to the coming year. The goal is really to continue to grow, and I'm looking forward to working with you and seeing how we can grow with that. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Hopefully you can utilize the planning document and the first 6 weeks roadmap with your departments to kind of work on some commonalities and have a successful 2014-15 school year. Thanks, and have a great day.